So a question I often get, or I get told, is like, what can I do if I don't have any time? And so it's, there's some good news. There's some short, integrated ways that we can do mindfulness in our daily lives. What I want to say is I like to think of mindfulness a little like mind training. So just like physical fitness, we do need to put a little time into it. And it can be hard to find that time. Maybe we know it's a good idea, but like, when do we find the time? And so similar to physical fitness, there are different ways to do that. We might go to a gym or go to a class and think of that as like a formal or dedicated way that we're working out our bodies, right? And the benefits of that is maybe there's an instructor that's guiding you through it. There's a particular machine that you're going to use for a set amount of time. And so building up our physical fitness, in a formal or dedicated way has some very clear benefits. And so similarly, you can see that with our mind training. If we're just starting out, having a guide, whether it's an app or other resources that we can certainly share, through this platform, having something formal, a set amount of time we're going to do it for, maybe a time of day we're going to do it, it can really help us when we're starting to build up those initial muscles and to maintain them. So I encourage you to consider, what are my dedicated or formal ways I might do this. And the good news is there's lots of ways to do it informally and integrated. And so we can go into what some of those things are. And if you've watched and we've talked a bit about focused attention, there's this idea that by anchoring our attention in something, we can learn to clear and focus our mind. Again, no pressure to do it perfectly and instantaneously, but that this workout of anchoring attention allows our mind to build connections around stability and also can give us a sense of calm. We can calm our nervous system. A lot of us are activated. If you ever, you hear like the assignment deadlines coming up, or you see like the email pop up in the top right of your computer screen, you feel the like whoop in your body, right? We're very activated. So there's a lot of benefit to learning how to calm the nervous system on purpose. That can help us focus better. It can help us listen, communicate well with others. And so if we don't have time to do, the 20 or 30-minute workout, what are our options? So I like to really encourage everyone to learn some of the basic practices, whether it's through an app or other dedicated ways. And once you know them, get creative. So we can apply, paying attention to an anchor to our walking. We can really notice the sensation of our feet. If we can get into nature, then all of a sudden there's all these amazing anchors for your attention. Really noticing what the birds sound like, really noticing what the grass looks like and the trees. And then people like to say to me, well then what counts as mindful or not? And so if you're walking, for example, and you see a tree and you really notice the texture of it and the color of it, you're in the present moment. Your attention is anchored in the here and now. If you start thinking like that tree looks like a tree from my childhood and I used to climb that tree and I built it, okay, well your mind has wandered. So you bring it back to the anchor, re-notice the tree. If you're walking down your street, I like to do a little block walk around, my street. So if I'm halfway around the street and I see, a tree or a piece of garbage and I'm thinking about it, like that's in the present moment with me. If I'm a block away and I'm still thinking about that thing I passed, well, my mind is not with me, I bring it back. So we can play with this. A time I really like to practice is while I brush my teeth. I find I'm often drafting emails while I'm brushing my teeth. I can't actually be writing the email. So I really try and make my anchor the sensation of brushing my teeth. I actually think this leads to me brushing my teeth better. So there's another benefit we could do a research study on. But this wonderful moment in my day that already exists, I'm already gonna take that 2 minutes to brush my teeth. And I can't be writing the emails. And I'm heading towards bed when I hopefully want to have some regulation over my mind putting down my projects. And so it's a wonderful moment to really allow myself to practice anchoring attention. It starts to activate this capacity to put down the projects until the next day. And I have this great anchor of brushing my teeth. And I can't be writing the emails anyway. And so I encourage you, think where in my life do I already have these pockets? You're stopped at the red light. Or like you're on your way to a meeting. Do you already have to be at the meeting? Do you already have to be at class while you're walking down the street? Someone I work with, they said they told me they set one block that was on their way to work that was their mindful block. They're being very nice to themselves. So like, I can't do the whole walk mindfully. That's not realistic. But when they hit that one block, they treated it as like their bell of mindfulness. Sometimes we ring bells to like cut through our busy mind, pay attention. And so they're like, when I hit that block, I try and be mindful. It doesn't mean they walk slowly. It Doesn't mean they changed their pace, but for one block, they really tried to notice what was happening in the present moment and not be replaying what happened earlier and not be doing the next plans. And this, they saw, made a difference in their day. So I don't think mindfulness has to be something else you're finding time for. It can be something that you integrate into what you're already doing. But that can really have a huge benefit, because even just a few mindful breaths to calm our nervous system, it can change the next interaction we have, or it can help us to pay more attention or perhaps fall asleep in a more gentle way. So lots of ways to play with mindfulness. It isn't just one thing. And I think that's the hopeful thing, hopefully, is you can pick it up, you can try it out, and then make it your own.